Welcome to another episode of Photo Enthusiastic. I'm your host, Jim Fair. I've just got back from a 12-day trip to Europe, celebrating my 35th wedding anniversary. Thank you. And had a lot of fun with the Nikon Z6. Brought along basically the camera, travel tripod, carbon fiber Me Photo, which I have a review of on the channel here. And the 24-70 native lens, FTZ adapter, the 60 micro, and the 28-2.8. I would say I shot with the 24-70 about 85% of the time, maybe 10% with the micro and 5% with the 28 prime. So I could have left the 28 behind probably without any issues. The micro came in handy for shooting some close-up details of various items. It's so bright I'm going to put my sunglasses on. Hope you forgive me. I want to show you some of those photos here. Just to comment on the autofocus, the Z6 autofocus does seem to have a bit of a mind of its own sometimes. It'll sometimes go out of focus for no apparent reason, and you have to tap on something to bring it back or twist the control ring on the native lens, assuming you have that set to focus and not to exposure compensation, which some people are recommending. I've left mine on focus for the time being. So I'm trying to get used to the camera with its default settings. Well, not exactly default. I've made a lot of changes, but I don't want to customize too many of the buttons until I'm very, very comfortable with all the basics before I dive into some of the more advanced features. Anyway, I seem to have full control of the camera. I'm generally shooting in full manual and manual mode with either auto ISO on or off, depending on the circumstances. If things are fast changing, I might turn auto ISO on. If I'm shooting a video, I turn it off. Had a good time. Let's see, we went to Bruges for a few days, and then Ypres. Some people call it Ypres or Ypres, but the natives call it Ypres, which is the site of some important battles for Canadians in World War I and World War II, and visited a museum there about the Great War. We also went to Depan, or Depana, as the natives call it, or Le Pan, the French call it, which is close to the beach, and you can actually walk to France just walking along the beach by the ocean, which is lovely. And not too many old buildings are left. A lot of them were rebuilt after the wars, the two wars. Again, some pictures here of the various sites we visited. And then we had part of a day and a night and a short morning in Amsterdam before we left. I was amused to see a grand piano in the train station at Amsterdam, with the main station there. That says, "Play me." It's a grand piano. It's just lovely. And it was in tune, and it was lovely. It was great. So I played that for a few minutes, and then we went off. We had a close call with the tripod. I thought I had left it on the train, but it turns out we left it at the desk when we were checking into the hotel in Amsterdam. So we managed to avoid losing anything on this trip, which was great. Some people warned me, not to use the genuine Nikon strap when you're traveling in Europe. Use a generic strap, cover up the Nikon name. I never got around to taking those precautions, but we were careful. We were, in well-lit areas, and never had an issue. I did some night shots with the tripod and the polarizing filter, 30-second exposure of the canal in Bruges, the postcard shot, I like to think of it as, or what a lot of photographers call the trophy shot. And of course we took other photos as well. And like any other endeavor, I would say some days my photography was better than other days. Some days it was just kind of snapshot time. And then other days, I had time to think about things and choose different angles, try different settings. There's so many videos on YouTube about how to do travel photography. I won't even try to do my own version of that. Because, some of the obvious advice is just so obvious, you don't really need that advice. Like, are you going to bring a tripod? Well, it's kind of a tough decision to bring a tripod or not. If you're going to do some long exposures, then you definitely need that tripod. If you're going to do landscape, pretty much you need a tripod. Do you bring any filters? I brought just a polarizing filter to sort of act as an ND filter and polarizer at the same time. And it worked out pretty well. So it was a lot of fun in general. Highly recommend a trip to Europe to anyone who's interested in photography or history or art. The food, oh my goodness, the food was wonderful. Not cheap at all, but wonderful. Just amazing. Highly recommend it if you can afford it. Airfare to get to Europe is relatively cheap now. We flew Air Transat this time around. And Amsterdam was cheaper to fly into than Brussels. So Brussels was a lot more expensive, about 400 Canadian more to fly into Brussels. So we went to Amsterdam and took the train. And that was kind of fascinating. We were supposed to have to change trains 3 times, but because they were working on the tracks, we had to change 6 times. And one of the times, we had like 5 minutes to go from track 1 all the way to track 12. So that was kind of fascinating, jogging with your luggage, But we made it through and didn't lose anything, including the Mi Photo tripod, which was nice. So, and I highly recommend you do not check any luggage. It's just a lot easier to get by with carry-on. And, you really got to pare down your kit when you're traveling. Again, that's obvious. Anybody who travels will tell you this. And, I could have made do with just the 24-70, but the macro did come in handy. So I don't regret any of the choices I made, because I did do some videos as well. So I brought along the Zoom H6. I was originally only going to take the bottom half of the recorder and leave the top because it's another extra piece. But it does detach, so I packed it in a different spot in my backpack. So, see, are we still recording? I'm rambling now, so I will sign off in the usual way. Thanks for watching. Fade out.